Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Matt and it is Maniac Monday. First and foremost, I do hope each and every one of you had a fantastic weekend. Hopefully you got to get out and enjoy the weather wherever you're at. Hopefully it wasn't too crappy. I know here in Iowa we got some cruddy like rain snow mixture crap. It was just lovely. And then hopefully you got to watch some great movies or binge watch some series. That's always great. And then I hope that all of you guys on top of that are having a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, whenever it is you're watching this. I hope you're having a great time because life really is too short as is. And then please do like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing each and every one of you every Monday through Friday, permitting my schedule. And then, of course, major holidays, I will not be here. I got family things to do, and I hopefully you guys all understand that. And then also do me a really huge favor and check out the description box for more information on your daily film, such as your brief synopsis, your starring cast, runtime of the cut I'm watching, director, MPAA rating, if there is one that exists, which today surprisingly is one that I actually do have an MPAA rating. It usually is unrated stuff that I do, but today's clocks in at a rated R, so that's always fun. And then I put in a little bit of trivia in there, and then I also put a link for either a trailer or a scene from the movie itself. So definitely check out the description box for more information. There's all kinds of stuff in there. So do me a huge favor. Now that I got all that out of the way, let's move on to the movie of the day. And today's is 36 years old and it is a blast. It is none other than Stephen King's Silver Bullet. Yes, folks, this is one that I definitely am happy that I double dipped on. I've owned this here old Paramount widescreen edition release for years and years and years. There is zero special features really to go on with this one. I think there's like a still gallery or something like that, but nothing really of anything of major of importance for this one. It's your bare bones movie, and that's it. It is in widescreen format, but that's all you got going on for special features with here. This bad boy here is where you need to go. This is the beautiful newest. I would say the best release that there is by far for this film, and this one comes out from Scream Factory. It is a standard issue pressed Blu-ray as usual. It does have the reversible artwork. This is what it comes as, is this newly commissioned artwork right here, which is absolutely stunning. I love it, don't get me wrong. I'm just old school, and I like the old artwork a little bit more, even though it is very plain and very basic. It works. This is a basic run-of-the-mill werewolf movie, in my opinion. It could be better. It could be way worse. I think its biggest downfall is the werewolf itself, but we won't get to that just yet. We're going to go on to other things here. As far as special features that we got with this one, you got a brand new audio commentary on there with Dino De Laurentiis' wife. What is her name? Martha De Laurentiis. You have a running commentary with her. You got interviews with actors. Everett Mcgill is one of them for sure, but Keith Broadhurst, who plays one of the fathers of one of the victims in the movie itself. You got interviews with them. You got an interview with both the guys that were basically helping with the special effects. They weren't the main special effects go-to guys, but they were working a part of the special effects crew. Very interesting interviews for them there. What else do we got? Oh, there's a commentary with the director on here too as well. I forgot about that. But it's very good for as far as special features go. You got I believe there was the trailer in there as well, theatrical trailer, TV spot, still gallery, all that normal jazz that you get with all the other Scream Factory releases usually, especially the collector's edition ones. Now, I wasn't spiffy enough to get the cool slipcase, but that's quite okay. I'm not really too hip on those. Those are what they are. Yes. Now, this one, like I said, came out in 1985, runs at an hour and 34 minutes. I doubt this one has ever suffered any kind of cuts along the way, just because it is one that it's the gore isn't extremely over the top. If anything that was cut about this, it probably would have been some of the dialogue, because it does get a little boring in places. Not quite, not like a oh my god, I wish this would end boring, but come on, let's speed it up just a pinch boring. One of those kind of things, if that makes sense. And this one stars the great Gary Busey, who plays Uncle Red, who is a very interesting and fun character. He's a guy who's going through his third divorce, and he is has a very close relationship with Marty Coslaw, or however it's pronounced. Coleslaw is what I like to say. But either way, who is played by Corey Haim, that character, they have a very tight bond between them, their uncle and nephew. Very good wholesome kind of fun vibe that they get from that, which this movie does have kind of a wholesome fun vibe, even though it is rated R, because it does have that gore, and there is swear words in here. There's no nudity whatsoever, so you don't need to worry about that. So you could probably watch this with just about anyone. Just have them close their eyes during the gore scenes. That's pretty much all I would say. It's not like they're super gory. And then who else do we got in here? We got Everett Mcgill in here. Everett Mcgill, who you guys should know him from. I know him mostly from like People Under the Stairs and Under Siege 2 and a bunch of other stuff. He's always awesome in every single thing he does. So it's got a great cast in this thing. So keep that in mind. There's not a dud in here as far as the cast goes. And there's a bunch of other people that I've seen in other things, like Terry O'Quinn. He's in here. He plays the sheriff, which is has a very interesting end to his demise. Is a little rough. It's probably one of the more graphic deaths in the whole movie itself, but it is a very good performance turned in by Terry O'Quinn as usual. Now, as far as what is it about, it's about a kid who is a wheelchair-bound kid. He is paralyzed from the waist down, obviously, which means he cannot walk. If you can't understand that. But he is not letting that like hold him back or anything. He's still living his life a very happy, very full life, especially with the help and assistance of Uncle Red, who does things like he makes him a motorized wheelchair that is very fast and can go over things, and then eventually he makes him one that is called the Silver Bullet, which is like a modified three-wheeled dirt bike motorcycle type hybrid thing going on here. It's very cool. I remember being a little kid watching this and just being like, oh, I want one of those, but I don't want to be wheelchair bound. But either way, it's very cool little dirt bike contraption he made him. So he definitely gets to live life a little. He's not just sheltered like what his mother and mostly what his parents, but mostly his mother, want him to live a very sheltered life because of his being crippled and all that. But definitely does not let that hold him back. So he is basically, it's going on through the cycle of this werewolf that has come to kill, obviously on the full moon. Everybody in this town has gone completely haywire. They don't, they think it's just a serial killer maniac that is running loose in the town and killing all these people, which it starts off right away with our very first victim. You get very very soon in, you get a decapitation with a drunkard type character, who is on the railroad tracks, and they're able to push it off like he fell asleep on the tracks. One of those ordeals, which I call baloney. What you see, the head decapitation, it's one of those things like, if they fall asleep on the tracks, there's gonna be it's gonna be a nasty, 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 gnarly mess. Either way, so that gives you a little bit of tempo for what kind of a movie you're going to get yourself into, because it basically, a lot of the people, like Marty's sister, does not believe him at first that there's a werewolf going along, until it happens that one night after everything. After it was in like September-ish, because they canceled the 4th of July fireworks. Young Corey Haim, play our Marty Coslaw character, gets to go out and have some fun with some fireworks that Gary Busey, Uncle Red, has given to him. Tells him to stay close to the house, blah, 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 blah. He goes off and kind of does get himself a little far away. He's firing off his fireworks, having a grand old time, and the werewolf happens to come up on him. He shoots the werewolf in the eye with one of the rockets, which in turn makes him lose one of his eyes. And that is one of the main things the next day, that the sister was so convinced by the brother that she went out the next day and was going to and collecting bottles and cans from all the local people in the town, in the small sleepy town that they live in. And she eventually comes across our killer, and he basically knows that she knows, and then eventually he goes after Marty again. It gets a little cat and mouse going on with, as far as the antagonism of our villain against our children, is essentially, because it's kind of almost like a fairy tale in ways. Even the music is very fairy tale-ish. It's very very soothing kind of horror. It does have its horror in it, don't get me wrong, and it does deliver, and it packs a punch, a wallop when it comes to that. But this is very fairy tale-ish, in my opinion. It's done through the eyes of a child, so it definitely has that almost innocence to it. So keep that in mind as well. As far as anything else would go that I would like to give away in this, there isn't really a whole lot, because this is if I give away too much, you won't want to watch this one, because it's so basic on its premises that you guess who the werewolf is pretty quick and easily, or at least I did when I first originally watched this back in the 80s, 90s. I can't remember exactly when I first saw this. I was very, very young. I do remember that. But now, as far as any kind of ratings would go, on a technical side, I'm going to give this thing probably a 3 out of 5. It could be much better. Its biggest downfall is the werewolf itself. It looks like a giant teddy bear. So if you want a cool, gnarly looking werewolf, this is not your movie. This one falls very flat on that end. Even in the special features and the stuff like that, they even talk about how the director and producer were so disappointed on our werewolf that they didn't show it very much purposefully. And that is the one thing that does really help with it, is the less is more aspect of the werewolf. I mean, obviously you always want more werewolf, but I think if they would have shoved the werewolf down your throat too much, it would have took a lot of the impact away from this, because the werewolf, you don't really see it a whole lot until till the end. I mean, you see quick glimpses of it. You see its hands. You see it slash people. You see its eyes, but it's very hokey looking the way the werewolf looks. That's its hugest downfall, in my opinion. Other than that, it's a solid movie. You know, I can't say anything bad other than that. Even Corey Haim, you know, love him or hate him, rest in peace, Corey. You definitely turned in a good performance, in my opinion. I thought it was a much more convincing performance than some of the other child actors of its time. You know, Corey Haim was. If I had to choose out of the two Corys, Corey Haim would have been the one that I would have selected. Corey Feldman, just not a Feldman fan. Either way, but rest in peace, Corey Haim. You know, you definitely made some good stuff, and you made some turds, but nobody bats 1,000. As far as entertainment side goes, I'm going to give this thing a 3 out of 5. As again, this is a 6 or a 7 out of 10 kind of werewolf movie. I'm going to lean more towards the 6 out of 10 because the werewolf is what really takes it down. If the werewolf was cool looking, I would easily give this an 8 out of 10, but because it looks so wonky, that's why it's getting such a lower score. So keep that in mind, guys. Love your faces. I'll see you tomorrow. I think I got a cannibal movie I'm going to do for tomorrow. I'm for sure doing 1 or 2 cannibal movies this week. I'm not exactly which ones and where. All right, love your faces.